This was a great idea. Much better than studying for my religion exam. I'm glad you thought of it.
Do you always study on Saturday?
Well, if I want to pass on Monday, don't they give out homework over the weekend at that public school you attend?
Well, sure, but that doesn't mean I'm going to do it. Not when there's fishing to do anyway. Besides, who says we're not going to study?
Yeah, right. Like I brought my books along.
All of life's knowledge is not found in books, my friend.
I'll remember that when I'm staring at my D on the exam.
Coke?
Sure. So how come you decided on this lake anyway? Rumor has it nobody ever catches anything here.
It's close by, and I didn't want to drive half the day to get here. Besides, when have you been one for rumors?
Well, have you ever caught anything here?
No.
And you just happen to think there's good fishing here?
I got a hunch.
A hunch, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you better be right, because I got bets with my brother that I'm going to catch a bigger fish than you.
Well, then I wouldn't use that.
What do you mean? This is my lucky lure.
Well, I'd rub it for luck, and then I'd use your worm and bobber. This lake's pretty shallow.
Okay.
Chips?
I thought you said to use a bobber and worm.
Very funny.
So, who was that guy I saw you talking to after church on Sunday?
Oh, just some guy I work with after school.
At the factory?
Yep.
That explains it.
Explains what?
Well, he seemed a little odd, if you get my drift. I think a few people got his.
Speaking of drift, your bobber's kind of close to shore.
So, what's the story?
I don't know him that well.
Well, you better be careful, because he looks like the type who'll want to be your friend for life.
I know that type.
Oh, very funny. Seriously, though, why was he at church?
Well, I might have invited him in a way.
Yeah, right. The two of you were out having a burger after work, and you just said, "Hey, why don't you come to my church on Sunday?"
Well, not exactly.
No? Come on. Be serious. That's not just something you bring up at work.
Why not?
Well, because it seems sort of pushy, you know? Like those born-again types.
Well, you gotta fish where the fish are.
Huh?
Sometimes the fish are biting in your own pond.
Yeah, okay, I get the analogy. But aren't you afraid you'll turn people off if you get too religious on them?
It depends on how you bait the hook.
Okay, Babe Winkleman, and how do you bait the hook?
Well, in this case, a burger after work.
Get out of here.
Seriously.
Well, what'd you talk about? I mean, what could you possibly have in common with a guy like that?
We talked about fishing.
Yeah, right.
Really, he used to go fishing all the time with his grandpa when he was younger. He's the one that told me about this place.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like this lake has changed a bit since he was a kid.
He said we'd have to be patient.
Yeah, like that's a virtue I possess. So, you just went out for a burger after work and suddenly he shows up at church? That sounds a little fishy.
What, did you join the Pun of the Week Club or something? I don't know. I guess I told him that I go fishing with this friend from church. That's you, by the way. And he asked which church I went to. I guess he looked up the address.
You must have made an impression on him.
I think I'm the only guy that went out with him after work. The other guys think he's a bit odd.
Ouch. I can be a little judgmental sometimes. But aren't you afraid of what your friends will say if they see you with a guy like that?
I don't know. Should I be?
Burger bait, huh?
Well, I wouldn't exactly list it on your test as a top evangelism tool.
You know, sometimes you surprise me.
Oh, Ron, looks like you got another surprise.
Oh, hey, what do you know? Well, don't just sit there, get the net.